not going down. I'll be the last man standing. The last man standing. You know I never bend and never break. I'm the heavyweight with all the answers. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. I drew a line into the sand 'cause I only plan to be the last man. The last man standing. Hesitating, wasting days I didn't give you. And it's too late to pray and say you didn't go through. We told you better make a move, 'cause I'm standing right in front of you. But I'm not going down. I'm not going down. I'll be the last man standing. The last man standing. You know I never bend, I never break. I'm the heavyweight with all the answers. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. I draw a line into the sand 'cause I only plan to be the last man. The last man standing. I'll be the last man standing. The last man standing. You know I never bend, I never break. I'm the heavyweight with all the answers. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. I drew a line into the sand 'cause I only plan to be the last man. The last man standing. I'm gonna erase you for You trick your finger, better think about your future. You're getting twisted thinking I don't wanna shoot ya. I've been waiting for a long time, and I'm coming back to get what's mine. I'm sick of living with your little double faces. I'm getting itchy and so livid I could taste it. I've been waiting for a long time, and I'm swinging till I get what's mine. But I'm not going down. I'm not going down. I'll be the last man standing. The last man standing. You know I never bend and never break. I'm the heavyweight with all the answers. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing. I drew a line into the sand 'cause I only plan to be the last man. The last man standing. Hesitating, wasting days I didn't give you. And it's too late to pray and say you didn't go through. We told you better make a move, 'cause I'm standing right in front of you. But I'm not going down. I'm not going down. I'll be the last man standing. The last man standing. You know I never bend, I never break. I'm the heavyweight with all the answers. I'm the last man standing. I'm the last man standing.
Hi, good evening and welcome to RTO season number 9, the final road on ACC for RTO. And this week we are at Suzuka and round number 3 of 5. And we have had some excellent racing throughout this season so far. We have so far in this grid tonight nearly 30 drivers ready to take battle for you in qualifying. So we need to make sure that we can bring you some of the best action. It is a little bit dark on the track and it is dry. The drivers are a little bit happy with that because earlier on they thought it was going to be wet, but the change of weather over in Suzuka over the last couple of days has managed to make it that this will be a dry race. Could have been a damp track with a dry race. Maybe we could have done that if we could have had the settings right, but unfortunately we can't do that. So we are here and it is dry as you like. Welcome in Subsy, welcome in Wesley, Tressa, thanks for joining us, everybody in the chat. And if you're watching this back after the race, thank you so much. And if you're in the league yourself, welcome. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. I must admit, I've been trying to get this all sorted very, very quickly this evening. So some of this may need to just be adjusted. Oh no, look, there we go. Look at that. See, what was I worried about? Right, so in the AMS, the current standings, Thomas Lovrick, who finished second to Seppe Le Guin last week, is 2 points clear thanks to a fastest lap in round number 1. And Phil Mitchell just sitting a few points behind in regards to the top 3. But keep an eye on him. Had 2 strong results, second and third, 2 podium places. And obviously the scratch round for the worst round has already started to happen for these guys. So it'll be interesting to see after this round where it starts to settle down. Nigel Woodcock in 4th with Simons Kret in P5, Karim Ali and Zoltan Kiss rounding off the top 7. Mr. Tressa himself, Daniel Solis and Short as well in P10 alongside Michael Sokolowski and Daniel Zlatnik. Zlatnik's not had the best season so far by his own standards, but I'm sure he'll be looking to try and make amends here at Suzuka. And if we move on to the Silvers, the race last week was won by Levy Jennings. A P2 and a P1 puts him at the top of the standings from the man from America in the GTR. Chasing him down is RTO's very own Marshall Snaithman. You might be hearing me call him Dreambound during the broadcast, so please bear with me on that one. It's just how I know him. With Tom Solis, the reigning silver champion in P3, had a very difficult result at Mazzano, but that drop round has put him right back in contention and only 7 points off the lead. Ivaz van Sander in the BMW in front of Tom Lesser, Christoph Holzer, Jordan McGonigal, who has now removed himself, I believe, from the championship. Not sure why, but he has. Is also in front of Paul Cook, James Rawlins, Ryan McCord in the Bentley, Paul Whitburn and Guido Martinez. We also have Santiago Barrios and Roman Splitzin has pulled out of the season. Shogun isn't able to race this week. We wish him all the best and hope he's back with us soon. And Pashenko has joined but signed out of all 3 of the first rounds so far this season. As we move to the pros, Dan Watts with 2 wins in the league so far puts him at the top of the standings in front of Liam Page, who had to come back from a bit of a shocker of a start by his own standards in Barcelona, but managed to battle all the way back to a P6, which keeps him in contention in front of Matt Whitburn, whose incident that he had with himself and a curb at Misano put him into P5 in round 1, so that was his scratch round. In front of Ben Nergard and Sigurd Refsik, the 2 Norwegian drivers in RTO. In front of Florian Lacroix, new driver to RTO, so it's great to see some new drivers joining us. Paul Sadlowski is back and racing this week, and same as Brett Minnan. So they didn't start round 1, but they have been in round number 2, and they are both on the track ready to take action to you guys tonight. So just to give you an idea of what's going on, this is the SimGrid page. If you want to come and join us, please feel free to do so. Just type in RTO in the search, and it usually comes straight up with us. And then you can come and join us. It says registration closed at the moment. That's because we close it just before we go live for the race, but we open it again after, so you should be able to join as of tomorrow. And if you want to come and get with us on the grid, that's absolutely fine. Join the Discord. If you want to be in the AMs, it does say they were full, well, they're not now, but it does say they were full. So if you do need me to, I can remove or open a space move one from the others and open a space for you in the AMs if you do need me to do so. Good. My wallet might not be good in the next 2 weeks or so. Why not? Subsidy. What have you spent? Is going to be close to season. It really is. The whole grid. Trust me, it will be like this for the entirety of the season. So I'm not expecting anything to change in regards to the closeness that we've always had here at RTO. But yeah, it's not far away. Just to give you an idea as well of the races up and coming, as you saw earlier on. You can see that we're on Suzuka at the moment. We have Alton Park next week, one of my favorite tracks, and I did stick it in there because I know it's going to be playing havoc with these drivers, as it is a hell of a bumpy track. It's tight, twisty, old school British track, and I'm expecting a lot of fighting going on in that race. And then we've finished the RTO GT3 leagues in ACC, and I don't think there's a better track really to do it, but Imola is the final round that we have. There's a couple of minutes left in the practice session, and then we will bring you the action. But we will definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. It's a night race. Suzuka is probably one of the most iconic tracks in ACC. It is a brilliant track. I just watched Ryan come into the pits, and I think he would have got a drive-through with that because that was very, very steep, Ryan. That was interesting. The Bentley not behaving itself through 130 at all. Every time he goes through there and he lifts off, it just literally wants to swing the back end round. So there you go. Right, I think we are about to go ready for the for qualifying. So we'll bring you some of this action right now. We'll just wait for a couple of these guys to get on track, and then we'll switch over to the live broadcast. It will come up. There we go. Look at that, as if like magic. And as you can see, it's a little bit dark. Alpha Mini GT Neo and maybe P5 nice. That is good. That is not bad at all. I still have this cough, so I do apologise if I suddenly go quiet for a second. It's where I'm switching the mic off to try and make sure I don't blow all your ears out, because it isn't the greatest thing to have at the moment. Van Sander, good to see. Well, let's see how you get on in the silvers today. Good luck to you, sir. We're definitely looking forward to seeing how you perform now. So these two on your screen right now, Thomas Loverick, and I believe that is Pepe in the McLaren. Pepe Le Guen. Sorry, Sepe Le Guen. Pepe Le Guen. Helps if I get it right, doesn't it? Jeez. Had a bit of a ding-dong in the last round, and it is looking like it's these two for the title. So this is direct challengers on the screen. So keep an eye on these two throughout their qualifying, because it's going to be an interesting quali between these two. So keeping it nice and tight. I think Gloverick's just controlling the pace as he gets towards the start of his lap. One thing I will say now, though, the track is 10 or 11 degrees, and the air temperature is 11 degrees, and the track in the race should be around about 10 degrees. So it's going to be very, very cold, which means getting the tyre temp over the first couple of laps is going to be incredibly important. And sometimes it's worth just doing a couple of push laps earlier on just to get the tyre temps before you do a full flying lap. And set yourself a bit of a benchmark and see where you come out from there. So across the line, you can see Thomas Loverick going into the first corner as we speak. McLaren dipping into the first bit. You kind of just let the car run wide, then you just bring it in on the camber, run it to the right hand side, over the curb on the left, chuck it over to the right. Then it's these fast S's. You want to use some of the curb sometimes, and then some, not any of the curb on others. You want to climb over this one on the left because it helps rotate the car. And this one here, you don't really want to touch it because it can unsettle it, because you want to get back over to the right hand side of the track. Didn't manage to get back over there quick enough on that occasion, but does have a nice clean exit. Manages to get the throttle down nice and smooth. And here it's ride or die. Chuck it in over the right hander and over the curb. He's going to run it wide. That is a definite, yes, it is a definite track cut. So that is this lap over and done with already for Le Guen. How is Daniel getting on in the Ferrari? Just coming through the first sector now for Team Snail Esports. We'll keep an eye on the leaders, or the guys at the front, in a second. No worries, Sander. No worries. Still heating hesitating on the pedals, watching video reviews, criticise the brake pedal a lot. Yeah, the brake's the most important, man. Like, it really is. It really is. Have a chat with, like, get some options together and have a chat in the Discord with a few of the guys. Ask people like Dreambound. Refs is another good person who will, he's really into like some of his kit as well. He's a good person to speak to in regards to what you should use and what's good. You can always ask myself if you want to as well. I'll just say Assetto, Assetto. I'm joking, I won't. But yeah, he will give you some good tips. Right, so out of the chicane comes Thomas Loverick, gonna cross the line, gonna give us our first time, and it's gonna be a 2-minute 0.4. That's a very strong lap to start off with. Trust me, that is a very, very strong lap. Give you an idea, it was a 10th quicker than Le Guin. Only a 10th. That's how close they're going to be. Correct. Cross the line. P2 1.1 off in the BMW. So I'll be looking to see where he manages to get to. Tresser is now on the track. That's good. Crosses the line. Start his lap. I believe he invalidated as well, actually. So there you go. Seppi Le Guin's up half a second on this one. So it looks like Thomas Loverick's going to need to really push if he wants to do anything. Daniel Solis, P5, behind Sokolovsky by 0.08 of a second. Those two look like they're going to have a bit of a scrap. And Nigel Woodcourt puts it into P2, 1.1 back from Thomas Loverick, only just ahead of Phil Mitchell. So Phil Mitchell and Nigel Woodcourt, both in Team Snell Esports, alongside Daniel Zlatnik in P7 currently. These guys are all teammates. And yeah, that is so close. 0.02 of a second. Nigel Woodcourt on your screen right now manages to pit Phil Mitchell, who, don't forget, is currently riding in P3 in the championship. So keep an eye on seeing where these guys end up. So Psycho Racing, hello all. I'll be the one in the Nissan. Yeah, good to see you. That was a good win last week. See if you can bring it home again this week. Jennings, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Good evening all. Good luck to all that are racing. Spoon, you need to get your butt on the grid. Dreamman, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Let's see how you get on in this one as well. So still to cross the line with a lap is Lucas Tresser and Seppi Le Guin. And that is it for the AMs. So I'll tell you who's on a good lap so far. He's going to put it into the 59s. If he can... Oh, no, he's just lost a 10th coming out of the final corner. He was up 4/10 on that lap. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'll tell you who's going to get a lot closer. This man. If he can hold this lap, it's going to be really close. 2-minute 0.2 is now the benchmark. Seppi Le Guin just under 2/10, sorry, back from Thomas Loverick. These guys look like they're going to be 1 and 2 on the grid, unless Nigel Woodcourt, who is on a very, very strong lap, can get a very good run out the final corner, because he is going to move forward. So is Sokolovsky as well. Sokolovsky is on a very good lap. And Daniel Solis goes P6. Phil Mitchell still 5th. But can we see? I'll tell you who's going to cross the line. Phil Mitchell does cross the line, goes P3 with a 2:01.187. Just over a second off, but Nigel's lost a bit of time in this lap. He's lost a little bit of time. He is still going to jump right up, though. There you go. P3 does still beat the time set. And Thomas Loverick has, I think, gone off the track and rejoined. And unfortunately, he has lost that lap. So he's going to get one more shot, maybe 2, but I think it's going to be one more lap chance to do a lap after this. We'll see the pros and silvers start to queue with 11 minutes to go. Sokolovsky has decided to box. This man is on a lap. This is a pole lap if he can hold this now. Really, really well driven so far. Nice and smooth throughout this lap. He is up half a second. So he's going to dip into the 59s if he can just keep this smooth. That'll put the pressure back on Thomas Loverick. Nigel Woodcourt up this lap as well. So is Simon Crett. Simon Crett is up on this lap, coming through 130R now. Oh, he's going to run wide, and he has. He's run it wide, and he's just been there. He was up half a second. That would have put him right up there with the top 3, so he'll be kicking himself for that. Just continue doing what you did there, Crett, and you will get that done. Just take it a little bit more steady through 130R, and that lap is yours. So, Seppi Le Guin does put it on pole, a 2-minute 0.1. So he did lose time at that final chicane. Can Thomas Loverick crossing the line now? He's obviously made a big mistake because he ended up behind Le Guin. Don't forget he was in front as they came out of the pits, so he's now starting his lap. He is behind the BMW of Kret. I think he's just enough down the road though, where he might get a bit of a tow as he comes out the final chicane, Thomas Loverick. But we'll see. He is so far sitting in the first sector, is looking like it's going to be purple as long as he can get a good run through the final part of the S's. Anyone else up? Nice Woodcut was up a little bit. Kret is back up 0.6 of a second already on this lap. I tell you, Simon Kret is not one to miss on this one. I think he's going to be in a very strong position if he can keep this lap together. Daniel Solis also up about the same amount of time. He needs to find more time if he wants to jump Kret or any of these guys in front of him. So we'll keep an eye on that. Daniel Zatnik, last lap was a 2:05, obviously made a mistake, so he's now on his final run as well. Le Guin has boxed, pitted, and said that's enough. He's only just over 500ths of a second. Sorry, just under 500ths of a second faster than Thomas Loverick at the moment, with Lucas Tresser in there just under 0.2 back. So those three at the moment, but I promise you, this guy in the Beamer, Simon Kret, is the one to watch right now. He is going to pop this in the top 3 if he can keep this lap as it is, or maybe top 4 at the moment. He needs to find a couple more tenths on the exits, maybe. Yeah, he's found one. There we go. Got a good exit coming out onto the back straight. Now he just needs to make sure he doesn't throw it away through 130 like he did last time. Let's jump on board with the BMW driver coming through. And he is very, very cautious through there. Runs all the way out to the white. He did lose a 10th through there, just being a bit too cautious, but he's still going to improve on his lap time, which is the most important thing. And consolidate that top fence. Although I say that, he is now... I'll tell you what, guys, watch this. He has just had an absolute monumental final chicane, but he's just run a bit too wide, and he's running the shortest run to the line. 0.8 is up, and it goes P4 just behind by 0.002 of a second, Lucas Tresser. And Thomas Loverick was not able to improve on that lap. So Le Guin is in pole position for the AMS. Now, Nigel Woodcut is still on a lap. Let's keep an eye on this. Team Snell still coming through strong. Half a second he's up. It's not going to be enough to travel the top 4, but it's going to get him a lot closer unless he has a really good final chicane. He does have a good over the curbs. Keeps it to the right side. Was up 0.7. He's run it a bit too wide on the exit. Where's he going to finish? 0.6. This is going to put him about 0.2 back from Simon Kret when he crosses the line. There you go. That is a top 5 covered by just over 0.3 of a second. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, Seppe Le Guin on your screen. He is the man to beat at this time in the AM. So we'll keep an eye for the pros coming through and the silvers now. And we'll see who can topple that time. I'm expecting 57s to be the pole position, maybe a 57.7. I think that's the time that you're going to be looking at to beat. And this guy, Liam Page, looking to have a much stronger result this week in the Mustang for SOP. Although he doesn't have a livery for SOP, which has always surprised me. Not going to lie. Has I think that is Brett Min. Oh no, Maxime Roland. Sorry, behind him, going through the first corner. I've lost my drink. There we go. Found my drink. It's all good. It's all good. Hunt Rogan, how you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Are you following anyone in particular, sir? Let us know. Anyone else in the chat who is following anyone, please let us know. We'll see if we can get them on the screen for you. Okay, all the guys starting to queue at the back now. Let's see if we can find some of that. Let's have a look. Who can we... There we go. Tom Solis, there you go. The queuing is real. Yeah, there we go. So they've been told they are allowed to queue. That's not a problem. But what they can't do is jump the queue. They have to behave. Last week we had a few people jump in the queue. I follow Badger, but he's not racing. Well, I think between you and Brian need to strong arm him into being in it next week, just so he can race the final 2 rounds. It'd be good to see him in there. I think he'd be having a strong season if he was in the season this season. There's a lot of seasons in that sentence. He'd definitely be having a strong season if he had joined for season 9. Oh dear. I'll get this commentary malarkey done one day. So, who are we looking at? Matt Whitburn for RTO in the Honda is the one who got to the line first. Number 63 behind him, Florian Lacroix in the McLaren is saying that he's ran wide somewhere, so that's not always true, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Not sure what Matt Whitburn's able to do. I haven't seen his practice times, so I'm sure there'll be low 58s, high 57s at the very least from this man. It's good to see a Honda back on the grid though. Spitting the flames in the night. I do like this. I love this game for that, where when you're in at night time, you see the glowing exhaust, you see the spitting of the flames from them. All right, crosses the line. What's he going to put us into so far? 58.7 for a first lap. Got to remember the tyres are still warming up. Lecrow didn't bin it. He did manage to get a lap through. And Marshall Snaithman, 1.1 back for the Silvers, putting it on pole for the Silvers, but no one else has crossed the line just yet. So we'll see how they get on as they start to cross the line. Liam Page does blitz Matt's lap 3/10 further up the road, all ready for the Ford driver. No other pros yet. Ben Nergard, half a second back in the Mercedes for RTO Esports. We're waiting on a couple of other drivers. Let's have a look and see who else we can pick up. Paul Cook is just sorry, James Rawlins there. I was about to say Paul Cook, but he jumped in front of me. But James Rawlins setting his first lap. Then with Paul Cook's coming out the final corner now. This is what I was trying to jump on for PC Sim Racing. They run across the line. Is that 2:01.8, is it? Not far off of that. 2:01.9 for Paul Cook. I'm sure he will definitely be looking to improve. Feeling maybe made a mistake in that lap. Dan Watts goes into P2, 400ths of a second behind Liam Page. And Sigurd Refsvik hasn't managed to set a time as yet. Where is he? Here he is. Coming across the line just now. Starting his first lap. Oh no. Yep, starting his first lap. There's a 59.2 that he's just done there. So he's obviously managed to cross the line somewhere. He did this last week. Or was it in Mazzano? Can't remember which one it was, but he ended up doing like his only lap on the final lap. I think he was doing it on purpose. Just trying to stress me out. But I tell you what, guys and girls, this lap at the moment from Matt Whitburn, this is the lap so far. This will be putting him into the 57s if he can get a good exit. He's a bit too over the curbs there, but he's managed to keep it. Well, he's just lost a 10th, but he's definitely going to be in the 57s. 57.8, I think this will end up being if he crosses the line. Bang! 57.7. There we go. That sets some distance between him and Liam Page, who is still on a very good lap, but I don't think he's going to pip him just yet. He's just going to dip into the 57s with this lap in the Mustang. Dan Watts is only up 3/10 on his current lap as well. So yeah, there you go. He's 2/10 further back at the moment. Dan Watts coming into the final chicane now has binned the lap. He's ran wide at 130 yards, so this one won't count. Ben Nergard is P4, crosses the line just in behind Dan at the moment. Maxime Roland went through and is through the first sector again, so he's just a 10th further back, less than a 10th further back than Ben, and he's found that in his first sector, so we'll keep an eye on him, but so has Ben. Both of them have improved. Brent Minnan looking to have a bit of a stronger race this week. If he can find a couple of tenths, we'll put him right up on the back of some of the pros. Van Sader, though, for the Silvers in the BMW in front of Tom Solis. This is a very, very strong run from Van Sader. No, Sander, sorry. I will say it right one day, I promise. And Dreambound or Marshall Snaithman in P3. Christoph Holzer in P4 for the Silvers currently in the Porsche. Ragga Nation Endurance Porsche. And then last week's winner and current leader of the title, Levy Jennings, in the Silvers. We're looking for a much better result than that time if he wants to be challenging for the front. I'm not sure how the GTR handles in its hometown. I'm sure there'll be a few supporters here for it, though. I'm getting back into the racing now with a new wheel. Good to see, Hunt. Come and join us whenever you feel the need to, sir. Great to see you. Good luck, have fun, everyone. Thank you very much. Jordan, brilliant to see you. Who else have we got here? Paul Whitburn for RTO. He's on a better lap, so this will get him closer to the guys ahead. He'll be looking to have a cleaner race this week. Oh, he's run it wide. Yep, that is wide, and that's it. He will not get back to the pits to start another lap, unfortunately. So that's his qualifying done. Liam Page is at the top of the times. He's got one more run, a 57.722, 5 thousandths of a second ahead of Matt Whitburn, who's just going through right now. Maxime Roland has boxed and done his lap. And Dan is crossing his line along with, as you can see in the background there, the yellow and black Mustang from Paul Sadlowski. Look how close that is. 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths. That is insane, guys. And we still got Min and Lacroix to find time as well yet. I'm sure they'll be looking to see if they can get a bit further up. Where they're coming through the hairpin. These guys might just get another lap in. Both of these for Rebellion Autosports. Good to see some community drivers joining together, but there is no teams in this league. Just to let you know, Liam Page has made a mistake somewhere. He's 1.4 down on this lap. So expect him to box and practice his pit stops, as long as he doesn't end up going through too quickly and getting disqualified. But Matt Whitburn is not going to improve so far on this lap. He is down 4 tenths of a second. So unless he has an absolute monster of a final sector, we will. I don't think he's going to have enough time. He's just trying to do another lap. I don't think he's going to cross the line. He's got 6 seconds to go. Is he? Oh, this is going to be so tight. He does cross the line, so he has got a chance of another lap. Matt Whitburn does get. He's going to be the last to cross the line. If he's done that by working out how quickly he needs to run, that was absolutely perfection. Dan Watts is not improving much on this lap, so this is a shock for the RTO driver. He was putting in the low, well, mid 57s in the practice, so I'm sure he's finding his way through. He's just not getting the grip from that BMW. He's only up a couple of tenths, so this will put him forward and potentially pip his friend Sigurd Resvik. But no, he's not. He's lost a tenth. He's only just going to beat Ben Nergard, I think, here. Oh, no, he does by 500ths of a second. Dan Watts beats Sigurd Resvik and puts him on the second row behind Paul Sadlowski with another incredible lap. And in the silvers, Dreambound does pull it out and is in front of Van Sando, in front of Christoph Holzer, Tom Solis and James Rawlins. Jennings didn't manage to get a great lap in there. Paul Cook down in 21st overall behind some of the AMs, so he'll be looking to see if he can do anything. And Matt has pushed it too hard and gone off the track, so his lap is done. Wow, that was a hell of a qualifying. Everyone extremely close. And yeah, that's not something we expected to happen. So, yeah. Just trying to do something here. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for the pits. The qualifying is done. Now we go on to the main event. Go Team Nissan, I know, right? Great to see it. This is also a home race for the Honda driver, technically. In Matt Whitburn, he does practice his pit stop. He knows he needs to get that right. Dan Watts has won the races twice from being in the pits at the right time and doing the right thing. So he'll be looking to have another strong one in the race number 3. So we have Liam Page on pole position in the Mustang. In front of him, in front of Matt Whitburn in the Honda for RTO comes the first of a train of RTO drivers. Paul Sadlowski in the Mustang for RTO in P3. Be looking out for him in this race because he's going to be very, very strong. Dan Watts looking to try and come through the grid. Expect some strategy from this man because he will do something different to everyone else if he feels it will get him up the grid. Sigurd Resvik P5 in front of his countryman Ben Nergard in the Mercedes in the 127. Then comes Maxime Roland rounding off the first section of the pros before some of the silvers jump in. Next to Roland is Dreambound for RTO, or Marshall Snaithman in the Ferrari, the 59 Ferrari. And behind him is Ivan Van Sander in the 99 BMW, in the Skechers BMW. Christoph Holzer is alongside him on the row in the Peugeot. Oh my God. In the Porsche, Ragnation Endurance Porsche. It's not Peugeot, Joe. That's definitely not. Tom Solis, I wish it was because then it'd be LMU. Tom Solis in P11. Alongside him is the SOP driver James Rawlins in the Aston Martin, the number 93. Look at that. You're never going to miss that car, even in the dark. Absolute great livery on the SOP driver. Brent Minnan, in the number 70 McLaren. Next to him is team friend Florian Lacroix for Rebellion Auto Sports. And then it's Levy Jennings in the Nissan, looking to try and make his way further forward in this race. He'll keep it nice and clean to see where he gets to. Then pole position for Le Guin, and in front of his title rival Thomas Lovric of RTO in the Porsche. Definitely need to keep an eye on that in the first couple of corners. Santiago Barrios in the Ford, number 76 in the black Ford at night. That's going to be interesting to try and spot. Alongside Lucas Tressa in the BMW with the Simon Kret, who I think is a dark horse for this race. I think you need to keep an eye on this red BMW throughout this, and we will try and do that. Nigel Woodcock for Team Snail Esports in the Porsche in front of Paul Cook for the Silvers, who has managed to out-qualify RTO driver Paul Whitburn in the 373 McLaren. Definitely keep an eye on him and make sure he keeps it clean. And then me. Oh, no, wait. No, sorry. That's Ryan McCord in my car. Thank you, Ryan, once again, to drive the Bentley off into 24th so far. Then you got Phil Mitchell. Get out my pub. Going to say it again, Phil. It's not going to run away. In front of Mikhail Sokolovsky. Daniel Solis. Running off in front of Daniel Zlatnik. Don't forget, Solis was the AM winner last season, so keep an eye on them. And then Short, I'm going to try and say this, Alfusis, is definitely wrong, but your livery works, sir, in the final position on the grid. So, we will try and keep Helicam, we will try and keep it on P4, and the reason why we do that, because it gives you a good row seat, and you get to see all the action as it happens. And while they do this first bit, I'm just going to take a drink because I got a funny feeling I'm going to have a lot to say. The Fords do look nice. Need to get better before you join the league? No, you don't. Good way to get better is to race in the league, because then you get to talk to people who are quicker and you get to ask them. We have a great group of people here, whether they're RTO or not. Everyone likes to help each other. It's really good to see, and yeah, the best way to get quick is to follow the quick guys, trust me. I do that, and I'm still slower than Refs and Dan and Matt, so yeah. Right, let's see how the race will start. 2x2 arc formation. They get ready for the line. Don't forget, it shouldn't go green until it crosses the line just down the halfway down the grid straight, or maybe just before that. But we're looking for Van Sander, we're looking for Whitburn, we're looking at Lovric and Gwen. Who's going to come out on top in those classes? And let's see as they cross the line. And we are green, green, green. Right, so Matt Whitburn gets a good start. He's actually being covered off straight away by the Mustang. The Honda gets a really good start, but then the second phase, the Mustang pulls alongside him and gets a good entry into the first corner. Then it looks like Matt's going to try and hang it around the outside. I think everyone so far, it's clean at the back. There is 3 wide just a bit further back, and Matt does make it into the lead of the race. Does manage to out RTO the SOP driver, and now you've got the Mustang of Paul Sadlowski, and Refs has already dropped down to he's managed to lose. No, he hasn't lost the place, sorry. Dan Watts is up in P4 as he started. And we're looking a bit further back. Dreambound does get a good clean start. Van Sander isn't, though. Van Sander has disappeared. Where is he? I cannot see him on my list. There he is. He's a bit further back. So Van Sander has had a bit of an incident at the start of the race. There is some accident things coming up on my screen. I'll have to try and keep an eye on those. There is no steward for this race. Christoph Holzer moves up into P2 in the Silvers. And this is where things can get a bit tasty. Coming into the hairpin, goes really quickly, and then all of a sudden you've got slam on the brakes before you end up in the back of someone. Lucas Tressa up into the lead at the start of the race, and Thomas Lovric has dropped all the way down to P23. He is going to have a lot to do, and Tressa is now trying to run away with the lead of this race in front of Le Guin at the start. He has managed to get up a couple of places. Oh, that is a bit of a send. That was a little bit of a last breaker, sorry, and I think he's going to give that place up. And Tressa runs it wide to try not to get hit again. And Le Guin realised, I think he outbraked himself a little bit there, and obviously they banged doors, and now he's coming under pressure from Paul Whitburn. Phil Whitburn. Joe, get it right. He's been in your team for a while now. Stop being an idiot. He's trying to get up the inside, but he's thought better of it. 130 has not really good overtake place. And as I say that, oh, that's going to be Simon Crett. That is Simon Crett. And he is off into the gravel. Let's have a look at what happened. I'm pretty sure he gets up the inside. And does he... Oh, it's a bit strange, actually. He's not really near anyone. I think everyone made check up in front of him. Yeah, Paul nearly takes out the McLaren of the Gwen. And yeah, he just runs it slow. Unfortunately, the Porsche there, I think that's Nigel Woodcut. Yeah, it is Nigel Woodcut, I think. Doesn't manage to get through unscathed. Right, so back to the front of the grid. That's the first lap incident. That will be deemed after the race by the stewards, and I'm sure there'll be a penalty coming there if it is reported. A crow all over the back of Christoph Holzer, trying to make his way back up to the back end of the pros. Didn't have the strongest of qualifying, but is making... He's done this a couple of times. He's a bit like me. The qualifying isn't as great, but his racecraft is really, really good, and you see him move forward in the race. Keeping out of trouble, keep it nice and clean. That's what we like to see, and that will normally find you a few spots in the race just from that. Got a DC. Oh, no. What happened? You are absolutely right. Oh, that is not... I was just about to come looking for you because I was thinking I haven't seen you on the list. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. Work badger, damn it. Okay, I need to be able to stay on track for more than 2 corners. Okay, well, you will by the time we do another season, because it'll be AC Evo that we come back to after this. Brett Minnen and looks like Van Sander, yeah, they've come together somehow. They've banged doors. Looks like Brett Minnen is moving his way up the grid. Sanders dropped back. He was P3, don't forget, to start this race. So let's keep an eye and see where he ends up during the next 56 minutes. Christoph Holzer, P2, looking for another strong result. He had a really good start in round number 1 at Misano, and then everyone seemed to like the back end of his Porsche and wanted to take a chunk out of it. And he got hit 3 times in the space of 3 laps and ended up literally dropping to near the back of the silver pack. So this is a bit more like it from Christoph Holzer. You know, form has been resumed. And that is, do you know what I've just noticed? Simon Crett is now having to wait for pretty much the entire field to go through before, and he's got to drive through for speeding in the pit lane. Well, I'm going to stop saying to watch out for people, because I think this is a definite commentator's curse. I am sorry, Simon. Simon, it is probably my fault. I tend to do this a lot. I say, yeah, keep an eye on this person, and then all of a sudden they crash out or something happens. So, anyway, back to the front. We got Sigurd Resvik chasing down Dan Watts up into P4. And as long as, I think you'll see, as long as Paul Sadlowski and Liam Page don't suddenly drop off the back of Matt Whitburn over a few laps, I think you'll see Dan Watts just sit. Maybe not make any heavy moves to start with. Don't forget, although these are all teammates. So from Matt Whitburn, and then you got obviously Liam Page's SOP, but Matt Whitburn, Paul Sadlowski, Dan Watts, Sigurd Resvik, Ben Nergard are all RTO drivers. Trust me, neither of them want to let anyone through. I promise you, it's just not how we race. Even in RTO, where there is no team orders allowed, even if it wasn't like that, trust me, Dan Watts is not going to be letting refs through, neither the other way around. And once Ben Nergard gets on the back of these guys, if they do start fighting, he won't be allowed through either. So it's all drivers for themselves, which is what we like to definitely what we like to promote in RTO. You can join as a community. We encourage that. We want that. But if you start trying to help each other out, it's not good. I tell you what, Dan is struggling in the race pace. Refs has a much faster car at the moment at this point of the race. First couple of laps of the race, he looks like he is the man who's got the speed and maybe can make a move on his teammate Dan Watts in this next lap to try and make his way further forward. I'm sure refs wants to have a strong race this week. He's been kicking himself that he's not been at his best, and he's the first one to admit it. And I'm sure, I mean, we all know how quick and talented he is. He is an absolute beast behind the wheel. So it won't be long until he's back near the front. He's looking forward to Evo, I'm telling you now. That's what he's looking forward to. If he can get Evo up and running and get it right, I'm sure he will be near the front straight away. Matt Whitburn does put in the fastest lap. He has gapped Liam a couple of tenths, but Liam is responding on this latest lap. He was 8 tenths as they went through the line, and it's now 7 tenths in on this current lap. He's up a 10th so far. And he's, in fact, I say that, he's actually caught him by an absolute mile. He's now only 4 tenths behind him. This is what it is for the lead. You tend to see the Honda does tend to warm up pretty quick, and then suddenly after a couple of laps it tends to back out a bit. We had this in Barcelona. Tyres were taking a bit of a hit there, but this time it's not going to be the tyres that are doing it. So on board with Liam Page, looking at the leader, you can see in his mirror Paul Sadlowski's just dropping off the back of these two now. Refs is all over the back of Dan. Dan's got his mirrors full. He's not able to concentrate going forward, so that's allowing Paul to just disappear a bit up the road. We've got Marcel Snaithman on the back of Roland as well, so we'll keep an eye on that one. He might be trying to make his way through some of the pros. How much lifting did the Mustang have to do there? Oh, Matt's gone very, very deep. Everyone, Constantino up behind him. Now he's going to be in serious trouble because we know how fast the Mustang is in a straight line. If he gets in the tow, this could be really interesting. All three drivers here are up for the lead by the time they get to turn one. You see him gaining. Even Paul Sadlowski just looking out. And Matt's having to defend as they go to turn one. Oh my God, that's very close. Matt really defended quite late there. And Liam had to really check up, which nearly put Paul in a position where he could go around the outside of him. He doesn't want to have that happen twice in a race by two RTO drivers. I can assure you he would have got the elbows out, and quite rightly. But that has allowed Dan Watts and Sigurd Resvik to now catch up to the back of these guys who were breaking away at the start of this race. We will come back to this in a second. We've got Christoph Holzer, who's got Lecroix behind him, and he's dropping off the back of Marcel Snaithman at the moment. So be interesting to see how these guys... Oh, Dreambound! Jeez, I just saw you catch the grass. How has he held that? How has he held that? You watch as he goes through the right-hander here. He just gets on the grass there, and the back end just steps out a little bit. You can see him still fighting it midway through the corner. That has lost him a little bit of time, but he still managed to keep the lead of the Silvers. But one thing I have noticed, Thomas Lovrick is already back up into P2. Thomas Lesser has lost the lead of the AM, so Thomas Lovrick on a mission to try and fight his way back to the front of the AM class. He needs to beat Le Guin if he wants to hold on to the lead of the championship. That's his championship rival going through the hairpin, as you saw. And at the moment, he's stuck behind Barrios in the Mustang. He's got a lot more pace than him at the moment in this last couple of laps. He's a 10th quicker each lap so far. And he's actually on the last lap 6/10 quicker than Sepe Le Guin as well. So although Le Guin is responding on this lap, he must have made a mistake, and I think he's going to be putting it finally into the 2 minutes. And I think once Lovrick gets past the Mustang, I think you'll see him pulling up and putting a much better race pace together. Trust me, this man has the desire to get to the front. We'll keep an eye on it as we go. Paul Sadlowski's still all over the back of Liam Page. Liam Page has dropped off the back now of Matt Whitburn. Matt's managed to get that Honda behaving in this lap. You can see there's a gap now between these top 5 drivers all the way back to Maxime Roland. And these guys all neck and neck. This is absolute fantastic racing. Held it like a newborn baby. Absolutely right, Brian. That's a new way of putting it. I guarantee I've not heard that one before. Dan Watts with the fastest laps, and now he's finally finding how that BMW is handling, and maybe just doing a bit of adjustment to his own style to try and pull himself back up to the top 3 on the podium places. We're currently watching Paul Sadlowski in the middle of all this fight between these 5 drivers. Wow, that was a definite interesting first opening 10 minutes of this race. We've had a few people crash, we've had a disconnect, and yeah, a few incidents going up and down. There's a few accidents. Oh, I say a few, there's quite a lot of accident lists on my highlights and events. So I think Mr. Lovrick, who is currently P2, who is the steward for RTO, is going to have a busy evening looking through some of these over the next few days. But just to let you know, although he is the steward, anything that he's involved in or directly affects his race, then me or refs look at it, and we make sure that we are impartial. One thing we do hold our own RTO drivers to a high standard, and if they cause incidents, they usually get a bigger penalty than what would normally be applied. Because if we can't set the standard, then you know what kind of thing are we doing racing in a league. And I tell you what, Paul Sadlowski and Liam Page have just gapped Dan Watts and Sigurd Restvik. That Mustang really working well. Paul Sadlowski, can I just say, this man, when he joined us, the first league that he's joined with RTO, I think it was season 3, he was silver. All right, he was a silver driver, and with a team called Push to Pass. Unfortunately, he then decided to move on from Push to Pass, and we grabbed him with both hands and said, you can come race with us. And he has gone from strength to strength. And this man doesn't sit and practice hourly and daily. He just gets on the track about an hour before the race. And then, oh God, Liam Page is lagging a little bit there. He does have issues with lag sometimes, does Liam. You know we don't have to use dial-up anymore, Liam, right? Yeah, anyway, going back to Paul Sadlowski. Yeah, so he doesn't really sit and practice and practice and practice. But the man has so much natural talent in that Mustang. He's found a car that really suits him. And yeah, you can see he's actually ahead of 2 of the faster drivers in RTO, in Dan Watts and Sigurd Restvik. Obviously, Matt, at the moment, proving that he is #1 in this race, at least. Liam Page took the fastest lap on that last lap. He's having to defend from Paul Sadlowski. This is going to help Dan Watts and everyone trying to get... Yep, they bang doors. And he's trying to get out of the hairpin. He lost the rear trying to get through there. And unfortunately, just... it broke away enough that he actually managed to Liam Page to gap him by a couple of tenths as they got out of the hairpin. And yeah, that was very close. Liam really struggling this part of the race. He's only 9 tenths back. He's not really being dropped by Matt, but he's definitely struggling at this part of the race. And I tell you what, Matt's hoping that this stays like this because he will be jumping up the leaderboard if it does. And Dan is sitting there thinking, I need to get past these guys. These two need to either collect each other and get out of my way. And he's hoping that Refs will just leave him alone. Because I tell you what, Refs is on a mission at the moment. Oh, Matt Whitburn's lost it. Has he lost it? He's made a big mistake. I saw this out of the corner of my eye. He's gone really wide in 130R and has to rejoin in front of Dan and Refs. Oh my word, that was close. So now Liam Page does jump up into the lead. This is live now as you see it as they come across the line. And is that Dan Watts? What's happened here? Dan Watts is now 5th. What has happened there? Let's have a look because I think he gets held up. Matt, as they go through the hairpin, he gets up over the curb. Oh, and then bounces and ends up really wide. Oh, that is not where he wants to be. And he did really well to keep that out of the wall. I'd noticed that as they were coming down the line. I was like, hang on a minute. Why is someone further back? Dan Watts struggling in that Beamer to keep it on the black stuff. So Liam Page is now the leader of the race. This is your live images back. He's coming through the double right-handers under the Ridgestone Bridge. And how that is set up a hell of a race throughout the rest. How is Seppi doing? Let's have a look. Seppi, sorry guys, I've been a bit watching the lead of the race there. We should have been checking this out. Seppi is still 3 seconds ahead of Barrioch, and he has got Thomas Lovreck all over the back of him. And Thomas Lovreck's trying to do everything he can to try and get past this Mustang. But unfortunately, the Mustang's just too strong in a straight line. And it's making it difficult for the Porsche driver. Now, he's actually in a really good position here. If he plays this right, he could be up the inside as they go into the hairpin. And he does look up the inside. Oh, my word. He did really well to hold that because the Mustang just parked it in the middle of the track. And now he's got a really bad exit, the Mustang. The Porsche could have a chance here. He's going to have to go the long way, which is going to put the advantage back to the Ford. And, yeah, he doesn't manage to do it. You can just see the strength of that Ford. That's the one car in a Porsche you do not want in front of you is a Mustang. That's the one car. But Le Guin, yep, absolutely doing a great job. Keeping it nice and clean. Rebellion Autosport driver in the McLaren. Really doing a great job out in front at the moment. And in silvers, we've got Dreambound Marshall Snaithman in front of Christoph Holzer, who's only just behind the pro driver of Maxime Roland as well for Rebellion Esports. This is the second group of drivers. We've still got Liam Page from Paul Sadlowski, from Matt Whitburn, from Refs, and from Dan. I think Dan is sitting there wondering what is going on with his Beamer tonight. Someone's giving him square wheels or something, I'm sure of it. And here we go. Van Sander as well is moved back up. He's up into P4, chasing down Tom Solist, current silver champion in the McLaren. You want Paul to win it, do you? Paul Sadlowski, yeah? Oh, Ryan McCord is just got past Lucas Tresser. Up to 16th. Bentley driver. He's doing a much better job than I would have in that car at the moment, I'm not going to lie. I must admit there's some nostalgia bringing in my head right now. I just want to go race that car for some reason. But I know if I do, I'll just be like, what is this game? A bit further back, Paul Whitburn all over the back of Sokolovsky. P22. Something's gone on with Paul at some point in this race. Daniel Zlatnik doing a better job in this race. P20. Currently 5th in the AMS. That's much stronger from him. This is what we're more used to. And he's been struggling so far this season, but doing a great job here. This is what we like to see. Daniel Solis, current AM champion, struggling a bit in this race. Just trying to chase down Nigel Woodcock, 4.1 back. And then Short on his own at the moment in the Porsche. Trying to keep it nice and clean in this race. New to sim racing completely. First league he's ever raced in. So great to see you in the race, buddy. Good little livery on the back of that Porsche. And Simon Kret, who I said was going to have a great race this race, and unfortunately I think I've just ruined it for him, so I do apologise. But yeah, very fast driver. Just to give you an idea, he's in the 201.5s. Most of the guys in the AMS are running around 201.8, something like that. So he is still very quick at the moment. Right, back to the front. Let's have a keep an eye on this. Matt is all over the back of Paul now, which is allowing Liam to just break away a little bit. Was 2 tenths as they cross the line. As they go through it now, he's managed to gap 3 tenths in the middle in the first sector alone. But this is where the Mustang will start to just pull away from the Honda in this fast middle and final sector. Honda is nice and nimble through the first sector. I think Dan is struggling so far. I mean, Dan's last lap 58.9, matching refs, but slower than the guys ahead. So yeah, Dan's definitely struggling. Maybe I think the only thing that can make me think is that he's managed to somehow keep his quali tyres on for the race. That's the only thing I can think of where everyone's getting a little bit more of an advantage than he has, and usually that means that they tend to grain a little bit, and yeah, you don't want that. And Sander is making a comeback, absolutely doing a great little job. P11 overall, 4th in class, all over the back of Tom Solis. Actually, we'll keep an eye on this. Liam Page, I'm sorry, can I just jump into this a second? Because, oh, okay, that's not as close as I thought it was before they got into that final. Oh, he's run wide. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. I'll keep an eye on it as they come into the corner. I wanted to look at, where are you? This one, because this is going to be close as well. So we'll keep an eye on the front 3 in a second. Oh, he's jumped over the curb. Oh, very, very wide. That's going to run wide. And let's hope he doesn't get a track warning for that one. And that's just put him a bit further back. But this is what I wanted to see. Round the outside into turn 1. Paul Sadlowski does try and go, but he runs it wide. That's going to leave the door open for Matt Whitburn in the Honda. But I think he's managed to keep hold of it and just slots back into second. And Liam was thinking, oh my word, this is going to happen again. But unfortunately, I think Paul managed to just take too much into the first corner. But he's having a hell of a race, and Liam is not able to get into a rhythm to be able to pull away. Dan Watts is slowly catching up on this because they are keeping each other busy. So I think as they get closer over the next 4 laps or so to the pit stops, you will start to see Dan get closer and closer. And whether he goes longer or if he goes shorter, that will be the key to his race. Dreammount all over the back of Maxim Roland. It's actually holding him up now because Christoph Holzer, although on that last lap was only... Actually, no, he pulled away from Christoph Holzer on that last lap by quite a bit, actually. So that would have been closer somehow in one of the last... yeah, he's pulled... Yeah, 7 tenths. It was a second. He's now pulled 7 tenths in that last lap. So, yeah, something went wrong for Holzer, I think. But he also has Tom Solis and Lecroix behind him. Tom Solis trying to hold back Van Sander. As they go into the hairpin, McLaren on BMW. And I tell you what, honestly, guys, this top 4 scrap, look at this. This is, I'm sorry, I know I keep switching to it, but this is insane driving from these guys. They're all, you could throw a blanket over these and cover the lot of them. Just want to keep an eye on it as they go through the overtaking places. And oh my god, Liam trying to use all the track and some. He runs wide through 130R. This is going to give Paul Sadlowski a run at him. He puts it in the middle of the track, and that puts Paul wide. And he has to take to the runoff. And that's going to make him end up 4th. Easy. 5th probably now. Because otherwise he would have got a big penalty. And yeah, that was a little bit of a move there from Liam. Let's have a look and see what happens as they run through. I'd like to see this again. So if we go from Helicam, we might see it a bit better. As they go over, like you can see him bounce over the curb, runs wide. That means Paul gets a much better exit. And he parks it in the middle. Yeah, no, Paul actually, he doesn't do anything wrong. He stays in exactly the right place. Liam does a great job of defending. Paul thinks about going to the outside, but unfortunately, there's still a Mustang in the way. And then he gets it on the grass as he brakes and ends up just a bit wide. He doesn't move for a second time. So unfortunately, Paul, that was all on you. Anyway, back to the other drivers in the Silvers. This is for the podium place. Slander versus Solis, the SS crew, who's going to get up there. Don't forget, in about 7 minutes' time, we're going to start seeing some pit stops as well. Yes, it is mandatory stops. It's 25 seconds stop. You don't have to change tyres. You do have to take fuel, but it's mandatory 25 seconds. That means most people will change tyres because it's 5 seconds. Yeah, you end up gaining that sort of time back in the pits anyway, so definitely worth it. Tigger Refsvik, by keeping it clean, has managed to move all the way up to P3. That is awesome work from refs. Holzer is coming back at Dreammel or Marcel Snaithman. He was a couple of tenths quicker on that last lap. He's currently 3 tenths quicker on this lap. So that's a fight for P2 in Silvers. We need to keep an eye on that. Lovric has managed to get, and we missed this. What has happened here? What has happened? Le Guin, oh, he's boxed. Okay, Le Guin boxed. So Le Guin has been in the pits and he has taken his stop. And that means, so once Lovric finally got past the Ford, he's now got clean air, lots of it. So he needs to pump in the laps now. And to give you an idea, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh no, Le Guin's going, he's got an SG30 for speeding in the pit lane. That is his race gonna be absolutely done, and unfortunately he's going to be another lap down because of that. That is insane. So that means that Thomas Lovric in the lead of the AMS now just needs to make sure he has a nice stop, no pressure on him at all. And Lucas Tresser is, oh, what's happened now? I was just about to say Lucas Tresser is now up into P3, but something has happened to him as well. We're going to keep an eye on it. I think he does this all by himself. Right through Spoon, is it? Gets on the, oh, he gets on the power too early, and oh, that is a big hit on the front as well. Does the right thing, doesn't just accelerate onto the racing line. Really good rejoin, doesn't just, yep, oh, that was a bit closer, but yep, really well done there. Oh, Lucas Tresser, that is such a shame. I'm going to stop talking. So this driver, can I get away with saying this driver instead of a name? Because I think that's usually what happens when I give a name, you get a problem. And look, I did say that this was coming, and the Holzer is on a mission at the moment. He was 7 tenths quicker on that last lap than Dreammel Marshall Snaithman in the RTO Ferrari ahead of him. Being held up by Roland. I think he needs to just try and put a bit of pressure on Roland to get past. He's obviously faster at this point in the race, but now the Porsche of Holzer, you see it, I'm really having to work the wheel there on the left-hand side of your screen. It's cold, it's not as grippy as you would expect in the race. It was only a fast track at the start as well, not... it wasn't a saturated track in regards to grip, and the Ferrari gets a bit of a better exit. And I've just noticed that Paul Sadlowski is oh, he's P4, that's fine, that's fine, that's what I was suspecting then. I thought he'd suddenly dropped off the back of this lot again. Matt Whitburn has boxed. So Matt Whitburn is in the pits. There we go. So he is the first of the front runners to do an early stop. This will be interesting to see how he gets on in the rest. The next person to keep an eye on for pits is this guy. I think he's going to go a bit longer in this race. I think that may be why he's taken a little bit of time to get up to speed. And I tell you what, Liam has got a second gap now. Refs is the next challenger to him. But yeah, so Maxim Roland and Snaithman all boxed. So that releases Christoph Holzer over the next few laps. So is an early stop the right thing from Marcel Snaithman in the RTO Ferrari? We'll soon find out in about 5 minutes' time. but to P5 currently. I tell you what, refs has actually pulled it back so far on Liam this lap. So far, Liam has actually struggled this lap. He's actually 1.3 down. A lot of these guys have lost about a second of lap time. And that shows that changing tyres is definitely the way to go, because if you're losing about a second a lap over the course, you've done 13 laps. So you're going to lose 13 seconds. You only gave 5 in the pits if you don't change tyres. So it'd just be absolutely ridiculous if you didn't change the tyres in the pit stop and gain that time back. You're definitely going to gain it back anyway. Potentially, I think so, Subsy. It's going to be that way. No, you will make him crash. Okay, excellent. Paul went garden. He did. Paul definitely went to the school of Valtteri Bottas. But it just shows he's still on the back of all three of these guys now on the back. Liam's really struggling in this last couple of laps. Is anyone going to box? No. Does Dan box? No. All 4 of them keep going. They're all lapping around about the same time. 2 minutes, 0.3. So Liam, 2 minutes, 0.3. Refs, 59.9. 4/10 of a second took out of him on that lap. And the faster guy out of all of them, this guy, Paul Sadlowski, back on form after that mistake a couple of laps back, all over the back of Sigurd Resvik. The Mustang is just so strong in Sector 1. So look, you can see refs not able to keep with the Mustang in front of him, and now he's got Paul literally in his boot, trying to nudge him forward to say, will you get a move on? I need to get through to get back up to that Mustang if I'm going to have any chance of winning this race. And all of this is making life a lot easier for Matt Whitburn. We'll have to see what his lap time was. It was a 32 seconds in the pit lane and 32.2 on the stops. So keep an eye on that to see how they go. Maxim Roland is out. He did not change tyres, I don't think, from that graphic. Well, that's interesting to see what his lap times are going to be like towards the end of the race. Everyone's starting to box now. Holzer, Paul Whitburn, Nigel Woodcock, all in the pits so far. Thomas Loverick still leading the AMs from Phil Mitchell. Daniel Zlatnik doing a great job up in P3 at the moment. That's a net P4 as well, so that is a really good job from Daniel Zlatnik. If he can just keep having a very strong final part to this race, he could find himself up on the podium, so keep an eye on him. Christoph Holzer is coming out of the pits. He went yellow for a second. I thought, what's going on there? But it's just that he's coming out of the pits. Paul Sadlowski all over the back of Sigurd Resvik. Great Alonso camera work there. It does look good, doesn't it? It really does. And refs decides that's enough, and he follows Liam Page in. So Liam Page and Sigurd Resvik both box at the same time. Dan Watts has continued on, so has Paul Sadlowski. So this is for the lead of the race now. Which one is doing the better strategy? Is it the guy running longer to have fresher tyres towards the end of the race? Or is it best to pit, get out, get the laps in early and get that gap back to where you need it to be so you end up back in the lead? It's all going to depend on those in and out laps now from these 5 drivers, from Paul Sadlowski, Dan Watts, Liam Page, Sigurd Resvik and Matt Whitburn. So this is the guy we need to keep an eye on, actually, because now people have started to box. He was right on their tail, and he is actually on an absolutely monumental lap time at the moment. So keep an eye on Matt Whitburn. I don't think he's going to set the fastest lap of the race, but it's not going to be far off. He's coming up to some traffic. He needs to hope that a few of these guys get out. The one thing I have noticed, he's had a bad stop. No, he hasn't. That's a lie. It's because Roland did not take tyres. So, yeah, he is now out of the pits early. And that's why Matt is now behind Roland. So Roland trying a different strategy to everybody else. So here he goes, crosses the line. Is he going to get back in front of these guys? I think he's just going to end up behind Liam Page. Is he? No, he does. He manages to beat these guys. He's now back in the lead of the race. Matt Whitburn doing a great job on strategy to find his way back into the front. He's managed to get a bit of clean air, pumping some lap times, not have to worry about the Mustang filling his mirrors. So he's able to concentrate and then does stomp in a good lap, a 59.5, which was about a second or two, about a second and a half quicker than what Liam Pace did on his last 2 laps. So that shows you why he has managed to make his way back up. And I tell you what, Holzer has jumped Dreambound in the pits. Look at that. So, and Van Sander has also done the same. He hasn't taken, I don't think he's taken pits, he's taken tyres, has he? Oh, he has taken tyres and he's dropped back. Okay, sorry. I thought there was, it's the timing board on your screen hasn't updated, but he is P3. But look at this. He is now P3 and behind. So at the moment it's Holzer from Schneithman, from Sander, from Tom Solis and James Rawlins. James Rawlins having a really good scrap. And I think, yep, Ryan McCord's just jumped out of the pits as well. So it's starting to settle down now. Thomas Loverick's still going around, P3 at the moment, doing a very long first stint, way past the halfway mark after this one. Evo will look better, it already is. So yeah, definitely. So Dreambound all over the back of Holzer. This is going to be for the fight of the race. And I tell you what, if I was Sander, I would just sit and watch this for a couple of laps. I wouldn't get too close to the back, especially if I knew I had a bit of pace. I wouldn't get too close to the back of Dreambound. I'd just sit and let him go, so he doesn't feel he's under pressure by me catching the Porsche and maybe putting him under a bit of pressure. But they've both got the Crow in front of him, who is doing a great job. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes. So now we've got these guys in the pits. So let's have a look. So Dan Watts is already on the move. Paul Sadlowski on the move. Matt Whitburn is coming down the straight now. This is going to be so close. There you go. You can see him coming down the line. He does get out in front of both of them. Paul Sadlowski and Dan Watts coming out. And unfortunately, it's going to be Matt from Liam from, I think... Oh, no! The two RTO drivers get together. And how? I think that was Paul Sadlowski really helping refs get back in a straight line. Oh, my word. We need to watch this. This is coming out of the pits. So let's have an eye. Let's keep an eye on this. Paul Sadlowski is in the pits as he comes out. Go to Helicam. I think we're going to see on the left-hand side turning in on him is a BMW, and he does, and he thinks he goes up the inside. Oh no, they do just touch as they go through the second right. Dan Watson, thank you very much. That lets me catch you guys up. And yeah, he does have to settle back in though, and that keeps the RTO drivers neck and neck. So it's going to be, I think now, that is set up a stand-in finish between Liam Page of SOP and Matt Whitburn of RTO for the win of this race. I think Matt, so far, done the best strategy. Got the pit stop done early, got some good laps in, and has now pulled a bit of a gap. But I tell you what, don't mess out this guy. Maxime Roland doing a different strategy to everyone else, and catching is one thing, to quote a famous and probably the best commentator ever to live of Murray Walker, but passing is quite another. So it don't matter that he is on worse tyres, these guys still have to catch him and then get past him, and that's not easy around Suzuka. It did work like a T-sub, you're absolutely right. Christoph Holzer still in the lead of the Silvers. Dreamman just dropped off the back of him through the middle sector. Ferrari seems to be a bit quicker in the first sector and the final sector, and I tell you what, Holzer has got the pace at the moment, looking to get past the Crow, doing something that Dreambound, Marshall Snaithman, could not do in that first stint. And he's had to, this shows how quick that McLaren is in a straight line. He had the run on him out of the corner, and then he runs really wide, and that's allowed, he has to lift, so that allows the Ferrari to catch him as they go into the final chicane. He was going to get a better run. The Porsche, as it normally does, squats and goes with that rear-engined car, and he's now in the toe of the McLaren. He got a good exit, much better than the McLaren, but I think the McLaren's just doing enough as they come into turn one. And the leaders have now all spread out. Paul Sadlowski on the back of refs again though, so that's an interesting one. Thing is, they can't really afford to scrap because they need to all catch up to Roland. What they need is Roland to hold the front two up, so the front three all get held up, and then the other three catch back up and make it a six-way scrap to the end of the race. Roland doing a great job in the pits so far. Although I'm a bit curious of what's happened there, because it doesn't look like he's taken tyres. And he's only had a 5-second stop time, and that's a bit strange since you have to have a 25 stop timer, so we need to keep an eye on that and see what's going on there. Because technically what will happen is he will have a 25-second timer added to the race. If it didn't happen, if he didn't stay in the pits long enough, then he gets a time penalty at the end of the race, because I don't think that is. I think that's 5 seconds he stayed stationary there, and if that is the case, then that's a shame. And it would be anyone. I don't think there's anyone else. Yeah, everyone else took tyres So no one else has done that, so it's very strange. Maxime Roland's already lost a place. Matt Whitburn's already gone past him. That's going to give Liam Page all the encouragement he needs. This shows you the difference in tyres. There's 2.5 seconds a lap pace difference between Maxime Roland and Matt Whitburn in that last lap. So that's really made the difference between pace. Now they're catching the back markers as well. So as they're going through the first corner, you've got the Porsche of Schroed there in the way. Is he going to be able to just jump out of the way as they go through the first sector? This is the place you really don't want to catch the back markers, because they get in the way and then they can't really get out the way either. And Roland goes round the outside. That's going to be very close, oh my word. And then Liam Page tries to go up the inside. And that's it. That's well done. Short did a very good job there, not making any too significant contact, doing a great job to keep it clean and out the way. So the front three are as you were: Whitburn, Roland, Page. No one caught any bad thing there through the first part of the back markers. Now Sigurd Resvik's turn to catch up to the Porsche driver. He's got Paul Sadlowski all over the back of him, and we'll check in on these guys in a quick second, because we've got the battle for the silver win. Colza has got the Ferrari, I would say, in his boot, on top of his engine bay, all over the back of him, still being held up by Lecroix. Lecroix doing a great job holding these guys up and not letting them pass, which is creating great racing for us, because that means Sander is also there waiting for a chance to maybe nick a win, or at least a P2. He's on the podium at the moment. Tom Solis a bit further back in the McLaren from James Rawlins. James Rawlins chasing him down for that P4. And good to see James back on a bit more form. I know that a lot of the SOP drivers went to iRacing, so if James is back here from ACC, from iRacing, that'll make a difference. Oh, what's going on here? We missed it, but Paul Sadlowski's managed to make his way up in front of Sigurd Resvik. Why are you not lifting there? George, you need to just lift and let these guys go. You're a back marker, mate. You shouldn't be racing them, dude. And yeah, so Refs has now lost the place. I think, oh no, wait, did he catch? Yeah, I think he caught Sadlowski, and then Sadlowski went past him. So, yeah. But Roland is now just trying to follow Liam Page. Liam Page has now got up in front of him. So, can he just try and keep the pace? He's currently on a podium place at the moment. Dan Watts still trying to chase down Sigurd Resvik. And this is for the lead in the silvers. Finally, Lecroix looks like he might actually have one, maybe two drivers up the inside of him going into turn one. Does he want to fight this, or does he just want to hold off? Oh my word, this is close. And the McLaren staying nice and wide. The Ferrari trying to follow the Porsche through. He's up the inside now, but now he's going to end up with Lecroix in front of him. He does shut the door on him. And it doesn't have to let that go. It doesn't matter that they're silver and pro. He can still race his own race. You don't have to get out of the way at all. And now Dreambound was staring at the back of the McLaren throughout the first part of this race. He's now got to do it all over again unless he can do something, unless that Beamer of Van Sander can push past him and try and do something about it as well. This is the problem. When you're in a three-way fight like this, you've got three cars. You do not want to be the one in the middle. That is the one is that they've got the least advantage. The guy at the front has the worst, the second least, and the guy at the back of the three, in this case Van Sander, has the most amount of advantage because he just needs to watch forward. Whereas the guy in the middle has to watch forward and back, and the guy at the front has to watch backwards, but also try and keep his pace up, because if you watch too much in the mirrors, that's when you end up with problems and you end up trying to keep the pace. Oh, what has gone on here? Someone has... Oh my god, that's a Mustang. Oh, for God's sake! Oh my word, I thought that was going to be a car crash then. I thought that was going to be absolute hell. And then they come... Oh, and then the McLaren just bumps the Beamer of... Sigurd Resvik out of the way as they get into the braking zone, and that's going to let Dan Watts up the inside. And yeah, that was refs showing his displeasure there, saying, excuse me, you didn't need to do that. And Paul Sadlowski pulls out of the draft and not give the McLaren the draft. And and that's refs up the inside. Sorry, trying to hold off Dan Watts, but refs isn't able to do that. Dan uses his elbows and gets them out on the McLaren straight away, trying to make his move up into P4 as he goes through the first part of the sector. Is the McLaren going to let it go? No, he's not. Refs is now going to try around the outside. You can see Refs is really, really trying to hustle and follow his guys through. But Roland on those older tyres really struggling. Yeah, there he goes, run wide. That just shows you the difference in tyres. He's run wide. The Beamer's got all the grip and now manages to make his way back up into P5. Wow. that was interesting. And the elbows were definitely out. And again, Dreambound still not able to do anything about... something's gone on here. Let me just see if we can watch this. Did they touch as they go in here? No, I just got a marker come up. Oh, he's going to really go to the inside. Oh, hang on. Okay, well, he's allowed to move again, but you got to give a space on the outside. So how it works, if you defend, you hear this, if you're into your racing, you hear this, you're only allowed to move once. Well, yeah, that is technically true in a braking zone. But you can defend to the right like that, and then when the guy goes back to the outside, you can come back across, but you've got to leave a car and a bit's width on the outside. You can't just squeeze them off the track. So, yeah, it's only in the braking zone where you're not allowed. You have to make one decision and move, and that's it. If you move twice, then you end up with a problem. So, 17 minutes to go. This race is absolutely flying by. Let's have a check-in. Thomas Lovrick at the moment leading the AMS. No problems from him. Doing a great sterling job. And this is what he needed for the championship. But tell you what, my driver of the day, I don't want to say this because I keep jinxing people, so we'll come back to it. But this guy on the track right now on your screen, doing a great drive so far. Please don't DOS it. Please don't do it. But Daniel Solis also having a great drive in the twin-turbo McLaren. Looking at his potentially one of the first podiums of this season for him. If I am right in thinking that. I think so. Yes, it would be. 2 6 places is what he had in the last 2 rounds. So much improved if this can continue. So yeah, keep an eye on that. But this battle at the moment, Crow really holding up. Dreambound. Holzer's got through. Just got a good run. I'm surprised that the Porsche was able to out-drag a McLaren and the Ferrari isn't. And you can see the back end just complaining there in the Ferrari. The thing is, with these cold temps, although you don't get the temperature wear, you do get graining. You can get graining if you're super heat. Oh no! What's happened there? Oh my word, what's gone on? He lost it coming out of the long left-hander and just absolutely hit it into the wall. Let's have a watch. Coming through the S's, everything's fine at the moment. And then as they get through this final right-hander, I told you the rear tyres were both squirming away. Gets on the gas. Does he touch the air? No, he just loses the rear. And then, oh, that is a weird... That's such a weird... That's ACC physics for you right there. That's why I cannot stand this game at times. And I think Dreambound has now had to retire from the race. We have 25 drivers left. We started with 29. I think that's the case. So, yeah. Right, so Matt Whitburn leads from Liam Page. Liam Page currently has the fastest lap of the race, a 59.252. Believe it or not, Paul Sadlowski did the fastest lap of the race before that. But, unfortunately, it didn't count. He went wide somewhere. Dan Watts, P4. He needs a better result than this if he wants to continue in the lead of the championship. He needs to get back on that podium. What's he going to do about the frauds ahead of him? If he can do anything at all. He was a little bit quicker on that final lap. Only half a tenth, though. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the back of him if he keeps doing that over the next... what's it going to be? 7 laps, I would say. Maybe 8 laps that are left. He needs to do something a bit quicker than that. Daniel Zlatnik up on a good lap on this lap, actually. He's doing a very good lap. So if he could do anything about Thomas Lovrick. He's got a really good gap between him and Barrios and then Solis. So he's got 15 seconds nearly. 13 seconds, sorry. Between him and the P3 driver of Solis. So he just needs to keep it nice and clean throughout the rest of this race. And he will be on for a good result. Runs it wide. Don't get a drive through for the love of God, Zlatnik. Come on. Please. James rolling all over the back of Solis. He's looking for... Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I was thinking, why? What's going on here? But yes, Colzer from Solis from Rawlinson. Sander, who got caught up in that as well from that damage, is now in P10. 4th overall. You can see the damage on the Beamer. He got caught up in all of that problems with Lecrow. And, yeah, Lecrow P22 at the moment in the pits. 24 drivers left on the grid now. We've got a couple more people gone. That's such a shame. And, Yeah, so James Rawlins looking for a P2 in silvers now. I bet that's woken him up for the rest of this race. Can he do anything about Tom Solis? Current championship holder of the silvers in RTO. Can Tom? It'll be a very good result for Tom. He'll be back in the title contenders spots for silvers if he can hold on to this. And James Rawlins will be right up there as well. Trust me, after this. So to give you an idea, where are we? So last week, Jennings, who obviously is also disconnected in this race, Dreambound is disconnected in this race. Tom Solis would be leading the silvers if he holds on to this position. Van Sander, who is technically P4, I think would also be second, I want to say, in this as well. And oh my word, James Rawlins really nearly lost it then. That was some holding on. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, I bet you it's his butt that was holding on to that car. Let's have a watch on board as we go through 130R, because this is going to be a ride or die situation for the Aston Martin driver. And as I was saying, Christoph Holzer, who is currently leading this, will jump right up to lead the championship. So this just shows you after one round, if you have one mistake, it can really throw you. Look at that. Oh my word. That's the hold of the race. That was great. That was absolutely fantastic driving from Rawlins there, James Rawlins. Yep, a lot of poo shot out there. Barry R getting some revenge. Barry R definitely didn't like a McLaren there for some reason. He definitely just pinged him right across the track. It was very strange. So the top 5 and 6 drivers all settled down now. Everyone's starting to settle down. This is the best scrap, so we're going to keep an eye on this. Good to see an SOP driver on the grid in an SOP livery. Our friends over at Symphony of Pistons. If you're into your iRacing, definitely go check these guys out. They do a lot of iRacing leagues. So Symphony of Pistons. And we've raced with these guys at RTO for a long time. Really, really good sort of great community. We have a really good relationship with these guys. So definitely highly recommended if you're looking for an iRacing league. Some of the best commentary, best well-run leagues I've ever raced in through these guys. So definitely go check them out. But can one of their drivers pip Tom Solis to P2 in this race? The McLaren is looking back at the Aston. We know how fast the Astons are. In a straight line, you can see him. As long as he's in half a second, which he is, he's going to gain all the way up to 130R. Is he going to be sideways through here this time? Oh my word, he really is. That thing is not happy going through there. He's got another 5 times to go through it. And is he going to be able to hold that car through there, or is he going to end up saying, oh no, oh, that is very wide from Tom Solis this time. Now he's going to run wide. And the Aston manages to keep out of the way. And now he's going to be on the outside. He's going to run it. I think he's going to out-drag him to the line. As they cross the line, who is in front? James Rawlins is by a 10th. That means by the time they get into the first corner, yep, the McLaren has to tuck in behind him. And that was all a mistake by Tom on his own. So can James now just run away, or is Tom going to be all over the back of him saying, I want that place back, and I'm going to fight you for the next 10 minutes for it. Thomas Lovrek doing such a good job as well. P11. Liam Page 8 tenths behind Matt Whitburn. That gap is coming down over the last. He gained half a second on that last lap, and he's gained 4 tenths, another half a second on this lap. Do not count out the lead of this race. I think Liam is making his run for the lead, because don't forget, Matt pitted early, so Matt's tyres will be 2 or 3 laps worse off than Liam. So Liam's tyres, there you go, 6 tenths in the final part of this race is definitely going to be in his benefit. I think he's had a bit of a mistake in that final sector actually, because as they cross the line, I don't think he's going to be 6 tenths behind him. I think he's going to be about 8. Well, no, he is still 6. So he hadn't made my timing board was lying to me. ACC TV, damn you. So this is for the lead of the race. We'll keep an eye on the Rawlins Solis. Solis has now dropped 9 tenths back. As they cross the line, we'll give you a bit of an update. This is the lead of the race. Liam Page doing a much more back to form from Liam this weekend. Had a struggle at Barcelona, had to fight his way back through as between him and Paul Sadlowski came together in turn 4, I think it was, or turn 4, yeah, turn 4 at Barcelona. I have to count then. I had my fingers out and everything. And yeah, he's gained another 10th. He's putting the pressure on Matt Whitburn. Can the RTO driver hold on to this victory? He's got a back marker he's got to try and get through now. And does... well, it's a Team Snailway Sports. He's definitely going to get out of the way. Absolutely perfectly from the driver. And I believe that would be, if I'm right in thinking... Is it Nigel Woodcote? It is Nigel Woodcote. So yeah, absolutely brilliant driving from him. But I tell you what, Liam's lost a bit of time through that. You can see the gap has extended through this through this middle sector. We'll see it before they, as they come across the sector 2 finish line and start at sector 3, halfway down the back straight. This time I think it is going to be about 7 tenths. Gain that few tenths back, but as they cross the line, yeah, 7, nearly 8 tenths. So he did lose 3 tenths behind. I think he made a mistake. As he came past the back mark, had to lift off a bit more than he thought. And Porcelowski's still doing a good job of holding off Dan Watts. Dan Watts is, well, a second. He lost a second, Dan Watts, to Paul on that last lap. Both doing a very similar lap this lap, though. Yeah, so 2 tenths he gained on Liam on that last lap. That's just saved his bacon for the last 4 laps I think there is on this race. Maybe 3 and a bit. Yeah, no, it must be 4 laps left actually. 4 laps left. They should do 30 laps. Because it's like 2 minutes a lap. So yeah, about 30 laps they should do. On lap 27 currently. And the Mustang sliding its way through sector 1. Let's jump on board. Anyone else think they're in a Jag if you shut your eyes if you're an ACC driver? Bacon where? I know, right? Hungry. It's going to run it a bit wide there. Yeah, Matt is just able to deal with this charge, this late charge from Liam Page. His last couple of laps forced him to re-engage. So yeah, nothing that Liam can do. I think on this lap he's got a 10th on him so far, but this middle sector he's lost a little bit again. So but I mean, we do know that this final sector is Mustang territory all day long, this long straight, and it'll just slowly eat into that lead that he's got. So it was 7 tenths as they went through, the last timing being, what is it this time? 1 second. I told you he lost a bit of time. 3 tenths in that middle sector. He's going to have to put in 3 laps of his life to get up to the back of Matt Whitburn and have a chance to overtake him. 5 minutes to go in the race. So there will be 3 laps left as they cross the line. So crosses the line. Did he gain anything back? He did. Half a tenth in that final chicane. And I tell you what, Matt's got a back marker again ahead of him. And I think that's Daniel Solis, I want to say. Is it Daniel Solis? It is Daniel Solis. So Daniel Solis is ahead of him. So Daniel, we know again, brother of Tom Solis, twin brother of Tom Solis actually. And yeah, another really good, clean driver. He definitely won't want to be getting in the way because he's on for a podium place alongside his brother, who's on for a podium place. James Rawlins has pulled away from him though. 1.1 is now the gap. So it looks like Christoph Holzer from James Rawlins from Tom Solis. And Liam Page is still 9 tenths back. He has pulled a little bit again, but I think he's lost a bit of time. He's lost a tenth in the middle sector again. That middle sector is the bane of this Mustang's life. Coming out of that hairpin, looks like the Honda has just got the edge. You can see, there you go. I mean, you can just see it on your... Yeah, he's taking a nice wide line, Daniel. Doing a great job. Liam saying thank you very much. So what is the gap now? I think it's going to be... I think he's lost another 3 tenths. I think it's going to be over a second this lap. 1.2, I would say. Maybe 1.3. 1.2 it was. 1.196. I'll round that up so I'm right. And yeah, That is the gap. What other scraps we've got? Paul Cook, actually. We hadn't seen him this race, but he's all over the back of Ryan McCord. So this is Ryan McCord for RTO in the Bentley, trying to hold off the Ferrari of Paul Cook. Good little battle going on here. Paul Cook 0.3 faster on that last lap. Ryan not finding curbs in the Bentley. Not quite sure why. It eats them for breakfast. And the Ferrari jumping all over him like they're not even there. Roles reversed from 1.7. The order is... Oh. Ferrari able just to get on the throttle a lot earlier than the Bentley. Looking back over the rear wing. He's after a really early shift to get out of the corner. Got a better run though. The Ferrari just complaining at the rear end again, squirming all over the place then. You got to be kidding me. I can't do that. And there will be one more lap after this. Oh, it's very wide from Paul Cook there. That's given Ryan a bit of a breather. And allows him to get himself back. A bit more of a gap. Simon Crett, can I just say, well done to Simon. After all of the things that have happened to him in this race, continuing on to make sure he finishes and putting in some extremely good lap times as well. Faster than a lot of the AMs ahead of him. So, yeah, really, very good race from Simon. It's a shame that what happened, but he's kept it clean, kept it out of the way of everybody. And very, as I say that, he runs down the grass before he turns in. That always scares the life out of me when I see that. So, yeah. And, yeah, here we go. And ensured. Again, once I said earlier on, first time ever in sim racing in a league, and sim racing to be fair. He's not done a lot of it before. So great to see him joining us for this season. Lucas Tresser, an old hand at RTO leagues, running through 130R, running very wide through 130R, and has now got a drive-through because of that. And I tell you what, that will hand this man another place. Short is going to get another position from Lucas Tresser having a drive-through running wide at 130R. So, across the line they came. Matt Whitburn in the his daughter's colours of RTO, who's designed his livery. If you're looking at it thinking that's a bit of a crazy livery for an RTO driver, it doesn't look anything like this one. It's a bit different because it was designed by his daughter and we allowed him to race with it. Also for the fact that refs didn't want to do another livery for Honda. So as it was our last season RTO, it had been a lot of work for no little reason, and it's really good to see his daughter putting on such a colourful livery. And he's got a Mustang ahead of him that's... Oh, please don't. This is going to be interesting going through here. He's having to flash. He doesn't want Liam getting anywhere near him. Liam Page has dropped off the back of him, but he doesn't want this Mustang getting in his way, especially through 130R. Give him another flash. I would. I think this is Barriosh in front of him, the number 76 it is. Matt keeping it nice and clean as he comes through there. He knows he's not under pressure from Liam. I think if Liam was closer he would be though. I think he would have been a bit more impatient, shall we say. And he's going to run up the inside as they go over the line. Matt Whitburn wins round number 3 for RTO at Suzuka. And Liam Page following him across after a very good race from the top 5 or 6 drivers in pro category. Paul Sadlowski, podium for RTO. It's a 1-3 for them from Dan Watts and Sigurd Resvik. I'm pretty sure that Beamer's going to end up in the wall. Is it? Nope. Is it? Yep, it is. I thought it would. That's why we stayed with him. Maxim Rowland doing a great job. Different style of strategy in P6, but I think it needs to be looked at because he didn't stay still for 25 seconds. And if that's the case, then there's been an issue on the server, but he still needs to take the 25 seconds, which means he needs about 18 seconds, I think it is, added on to his time at the end of the race. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make any difference. He's still going to stay at finish where he finishes. Christoph Holzer winning for the Silvers after a great drive. Very, very well done from Christoph Holzer. Absolutely commanded the Silver class. And I tell you what, James Rollins, take your hat off. That is a great drive from you, sir. P2 after the carnage that happened from the drivers above you. Keep it clean. Keep it there. It shows you the race is not over. And Tom Solis, P3, back on the podium after a couple of difficult results for you, sir. That's a great job. Thomas Loverick keeping it clean, keeping it smart, doing his talking on the track as always, and gets the win for the AM class as well. But can I just say, we're going to skip a couple of people here. Van Sander did a great job to finish P4, by the way, with the damage that was on that beamer. No fault of his own. Ryan McCord, P5. Paul Cook, P6, does come in behind the Bentley driver. Paul Whitburn. Fucking hell. Paul Whitburn. Fucking hell, Joe. P14. But driver of the day for me is this man, Daniel Zlatnik. Keeping it clean, keeping it on the track. Don't run out of fuel or something, for God's sake. What are you doing? Why are you slowing down? Don't slow down. I don't care if anyone's finished. Don't slow down. Has he run out of fuel? He's going to creep across the line. Did he run out of fuel? I think he's run out of fuel, guys, as he's crossed the line. Well, I'm glad I mean, wow, that was so close to being another commentator curse. And if that's the case, I was giving up and never doing it again. He manages to get P2 and driver of the day. Dan Solis finally gets a P3 and a podium for the AMS. That's a much better result from him as well, so I'm sure he'd be happy with that one. Nigel Woodcourt from Sokolowski. Shord managed to get P19 as well because of the penalty as well to... oh, no, wait, maybe not. I'll have to have a look at that. But yes, and then Simon Crett in P20. McCrove 21 after 9 laps in the pits from severe damage. And Seppi Le Guin in P21 as well, finishing off the results. Wow, there we go. So, once again, when you come back to us, let me just see if we do... No, that's not the one we wanted. It's that one, Joe. Sorry. Back in Season 9. I'll get it right one day. One day, guys, it will go correctly, I promise. But that was an absolute fantastic race. Team Nissan, unfortunately, got disconnected at the start of the race. So, unfortunately, didn't manage to I think he managed to do a lap, and that was it. And maybe not even that. So, that's such a shame. Phil Mitchell, why do I get disconnected? DNF. Yeah, Phil, if you've disconnected... Yes, but just message me after and let me know what lap, and we'll sort something out, okay? If it's a disconnect, we'll sort something out. It won't be a DNF as such if you've gone through most of the race, but we'll sort something out if you've disconnected there. Just talk to me in Discord, mate. All right. But yes, we've had a really good round number 3 for the RTO League races. I'm looking forward to seeing what else can happen, because it's always absolute chaos at the RTO throughout the entire race, but good chaos because everyone's fighting, everyone's battling for the wins in each class. We had Matt Whitburn manage to take home the win for the pros, and then we had Christoph Holzer for the silvers, and a really good race from Thomas Loverick winning in the AMS as well. So just to let you know, round number 4 next week, same time, same place, is from Alton Park, and I'm looking forward to that one because that one's going to be interesting. Don't forget, we use real weather, so if it's absolutely chucking it down here in this country, then Alton Park might be a bit damp, but we don't know what it is going to be until we get closer to the weekend, so I have to keep an eye on it. The server gets updated throughout the week to keep you guys up to date with what the weather is, so you can practice on as many of the potential weather conditions that you may have. And yeah, it's going to be an absolute chaos race. That one's a bumpy old track, and it's not really great for overtaking. You really have to be able to put your car in the right place to get the overtakes done, and I think it's really, really imperative that qualifying results are going to be really key to that round number 4. Right, guys, I'm going to leave you with the replay. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to RTO, and don't forget to hit that little bell and come and race with us. Join us at RTO on SimGrid. If you want to come for the last 2 rounds, you can do so. Just make sure that you pop into the SimGrid website, just type in RTO and then hit that little magnifying glass, and it will come up hopefully with us, and you'll be able to come and sign up. If there's no places left, join the Discord and I will open a slot for you so you can come in and race with us for the final 2 rounds of RTO in ACC. We have only got literally 2 more rounds and then our ACC time is done, and we look forward to AC Evo and see what that holds for us. So what I'll do is I'll leave you with the highlights of the race that we've just had, yeah, we'll see what we get from those. But that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope to see you again. I've just said I'm going to hope the highlights, but where's the highlights gone? Highlights have disappeared. Why has that happened? Oh no, there we go. I lied. There we go, found them. So I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, 7 o'clock on the RTO channel here, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much. Enjoy your week, the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next week.